Well, we're still talking about Hanna, and although it is no longer even a tropical depression, we'll be talking about it again tomorrow because the remnants of Hanna are heading up the coast. So let me show you the details on Hanna. The impact on the Gulf Coast, well, it made landfall a little before 11 o'clock around Mobile Bay, Alabama. Some of the stronger winds were felt in Pensacola, 66 miles per hour. Had 6 to 10 inches of rain with it near Tallahassee. That was the heaviest that we've seen so far. And we had a tornado touchdown around Mary Esther, Florida, and some trees down in Theodore, Alabama. And this is what we're expecting as it moves from the southeast to the northeast. Strong winds have already started heading up the coast. Some of the drought areas will be getting rain. So that's going to be a big aid to some dry areas. You can't really see the center of circulation anymore. The low is really falling apart, but all that moisture is in place, and there's a front coming into it, so that's what's really going to help us get more heavy rain for tomorrow. So we back out just a little bit, you can see there's your moisture heading up through Florida. By the way, Seminole County, you have a flood warning that's in effect now for a little while longer tonight. We're still getting some heavy rain in Florida, and we're getting it up into Georgia and up into South Carolina, where Greenville County, you have a flood warning that's in effect. They've been sort of sporadic, but that heavy rain has been pretty widespread. This seems to be the area where it's been heaviest, but tonight we continue to see it dropping along the coast, so this will be updating, and by tomorrow we'll probably have more to add to our totals, and there may be some other spots that end up with 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. So flash flood watches are in effect for much of the southeast. Latest radar shows South Georgia still getting heavy rain along Interstate 75. Atlanta kind of quiet for now. Greenville, their heaviest rain is to your north. It is raining pretty heavily around the Charlotte area. Eastern North Carolina, not much for tonight, but more tomorrow, and again it heads right up the coast. What comes after, Hanna? Well, actually perhaps something already. This is a tropical depression down here. It's really not looking very impressive on satellite. We'll get a closer look in a moment. And then we have another tropical wave a little farther out that at least bears watching through here, and there's another coming off the coast. So we've got plenty of time, obviously, with this one. We'll keep an eye on it. What about TD number 10? Well, if you look a little closer here, here's the close-up satellite picture. South America, Lesser Antilles getting a lot of rain out of this, even though the depression is actually right down here along the coast. You could sort of see the circulation earlier, but its interaction with land is kind of hurting it at the moment, so that's going to keep it from developing very quickly. But once it moves back out over open water, things could change. So tropical depression number 10 has winds of 30 miles per hour, moving west at 22. It is forecast to strengthen to tropical storm strength. Once that happens, if it happens, Isidore, that would be the name. So we may see another tropical storm within a couple of days. Meanwhile, back at home, again, remnants of Hanna interacting with this front. Most of the action the next 24 hours is going to be in the east. We have the flood watches that remain in effect. Could see 3 or more inches of rain in Florida. In those areas that have flood warnings for tonight, they're talking about 1 inch to 3 inches of rain an hour. So yeah, we've still got a long way to go on this one. And then our front coming into Texas has produced sporadic heavy rain and even some stronger thunderstorms. So we may be hearing a little bit about severe weather. We're going to check your forecast coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
With more power, more style, and as reliable as ever. The totally transformed 2003 Toyota Corolla S. It'll liberate the power of your imagination.
You know, son, interest rates have changed. I know, Mom. I'm a loan officer at the bank. So I've decided to get a home equity loan.
Okay, I can help you.
Where'd you go? I'm calling Ditech.com. Mom!
Want to cash out some equity? Apply for a second mortgage with a no closing cost option. Just call 1-800-71-FIX.
I lost another loan to Ditech.
Ditech.com, your mortgage solution delivered.
Mom takes Metamucil. I never will.
That's what you think.
I found a better way to take my fiber. Benefiber. Unlike Metamucil, it won't get thick and gritty. It's taste-free, too. Mom can have her Metamucil.
That's what you think.
Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Do you need to learn how to operate a computer? Hi, I'm John Scherer, CEO and founder of Video Professor. Seems like everywhere I go these days, somebody's recognizing me as the Video Professor. Well, that's because we've been teaching people how to run computers for over 14 years now. You know, our product is quick and it's easy to learn with, and you can try it for free. You know, over the years, millions of people have learned how to operate their computer using our product. We get happy letters every day from people thanking us. Violet from Alabama writes, your lesson make using the program seem so simple that even I can use it. Janet from California writes, your tutorials have opened up the world of computers to me at last. But the most rewarding thing for me is having people stop me on the street.
Now, Bill Keneally with you in time now for the tropical update. First up, I want to take a look at climatology here for the middle 10 days of September. And note, we still have an awful lot of activity going on, especially over the islands and over the Caribbean basin and into the Gulf of Mexico. Also wanted to show you one other thing, namely the landfalls expected, or we've seen over the years in the month of September from 1954 until now. 54, by the way, was a big year. I believe it was Hazel and Carol that year. Came ripping on through the eastern seaboard. Also a lot of landfalls over the Gulf Coast. We'll monitor these. Not saying we'll have a major hurricane landfall, but we'll have to monitor what's happening in the Caribbean Sea very carefully. Here's how it looks over the big picture. We continue to see a bit of a trough out there over the middle part of the Atlantic basin, helping to hinder development. But there is also a tropical wave now coming through around the Cape Verde Islands, and this one will be monitored as it tracks westward. Even though it doesn't look that well organized, we have an extension of a trough here over Puerto Rico, but then we do have a bona fide system starting to come together now over the southern Caribbean Sea, and this is now a tropical depression. It was classified as a depression around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. As of 5 o'clock this morning, it's about 125 miles east of Caracas, Venezuela, out there, not too far from Margarita Island out here in the eastern Netherlands Antilles. And again, top winds are only 30 miles per hour. The movement pretty quick to the west-northwest of 21. The pressure about 1,009 millibars. Hurricane Center will have an aircraft out there today to investigate further. As of 5 a.m., the center point about 10.7 north and 65.1 west. And indications are, even though it's not that well organized on the satellite picture, that it will be strengthening in time. And also indications are, while it's heading to the west-northwest, it'll gradually turn more to the northwest. So interest out here in the western Caribbean Sea, anywhere from Hispaniola back to Cuba, I'd best advise you to monitor that situation pretty carefully. It's not that organized yet. The center somewhere about in here, west of Trinidad near St. Margarita Island. And again, this area will slowly get nastier weather today, including Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And then we'll look for intensification as it pulls away from the influence of South America. Once it gets out there in the open water of the Caribbean Sea, watch out. For now, things are pretty quiet out here. Even around Florida, things are improving slowly, although the remnants of Hanna have not moved all that quickly, now straddling the Georgia-Alabama border south of Columbus, Georgia. Again, we have a tropical wave interacting with an upper trough out here over the northeastern islands around Puerto Rico and also the Virgin Islands, but the actual area of concern farther down right near the coast of South America. Off the coast of Mexico, we have a brand new depression right about in here. This one will likely track to the northwest and then start hooking more towards the north-northwest. So in time, we'll have to monitor that one, possibly for an influence over the Baja of California. But again, that's a brand new depression. Checking on the stateside weather, we have rain and lots of it running for the Ohio Valley down in Texas, also into portions of the Northeast, and then excessive rain continues in southwestern Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and down into Georgia. Let's take it right down there now. Note the heavy rain here running from about middle Georgia, roughly Macon down to about the Florida line there by Valdosta on I-75, and then running back here into Panama City. More excessive rainfall, flooding going on in southwestern Georgia. Miller County has a flood warning as we speak, and this whole area probably seeing rainfall rates of 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches per hour. Very tight little bounding of rain here, but again, just incredible dousing going on in this area. and this is right around Lake Seminole, so right near where the Flint River and the Chattahoochee River dump in and form that big lake. That is where the rainfall rates are approaching a couple of inches per hour. The prior 24 hours, some areas 3 to 6, even 8 inches of rain. That is why the flooding is going on here in southwestern Georgia as we speak. Also, this could be a problem today in North Carolina, watching the rain coming in around Raleigh, so Durham and Chapel Hill getting the rainfall. Coming into Fayetteville next hour, raining heavily around Pinehurst. Charlotte, lighter rain, but flood watches up in the Charlotte area. Heading out along 85 today. Take it nice and
Robert! Young man! Don't move. Don't move. Hey! Robert!
New Excedrin Quick Tabs melt in your mouth fast for headache relief.
Gotcha!
So you can save your water for other things.
You gotta stop doing this.
In 1935, Foxwood Farms started with one horse and a truck. The horse was a thoroughbred, the truck a Chevy Suburban. Today, they have a few more horses, but there's still only one truck, Chevy Suburban. With an available 8.1-liter Vortec engine, it's capable of towing up to 6 tons, making it the best Suburban yet. Chevy Suburban, like a rock.
We're comparing X14 mildew stain remover to Tilex.
There's no mildew, bright, shiny tiles. It's clean. I'm going to switch to X14.
I don't have to vacuum to freshen my carpets. I've got Carpet Fresh No.
We're still concerned about some rain up in the Gulf of Mexico along the coastline. I'll show you that in just a second. Our tropical depression 10 is way down here, right north of the South America coast. This is more typical of an October system. Notice the tropical wave moving to the north. We're not too concerned about the thunderstorms to the north of that. And out in the extreme eastern Atlantic, this feature is appearing to move off to the northwest, so we're not too concerned about that. Here's the latest on tropical depression number 10. First of all, notice the speed of motion. Very fast motion, and it's likely to be a very fast developer as well, toward the west-northwest at 22. Currently very weak, and all the winds are on the north side, so even though it's very close to land, the strong winds are offshore over the central Caribbean Sea. And that's going to be the case at least for the next 24 hours or so. Now let's look at the latest satellite imagery here. The circulation center is roughly down here, and these are the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, and you're about ready to get some fairly gusty winds from these thunderstorms. Those are going to persist overnight, so as the system moves to the west-northwest, it's the shower action that you're going to be concerned about, not any tropical storm forming that quickly, we don't think. But in the next 24 hours, this could become a tropical storm. It would be Isidore if it does so. Let me show you the information on our projected path. Next 12 hours, basically over or just north of the ABC Islands, then becoming a tropical storm. And as it moves toward the western Caribbean, the conditions are more favorable for development there. So we expect it to actually become a hurricane out here by the early Wednesday time frame and heading toward the west-northwest. Now, the southern track would be more likely if it stays weak longer. The central or northern track would be more likely if it strengthens quicker. The hurricane hunters are out there right now sending observations back. They haven't given us a specific fix yet, but we'll be monitoring that carefully. In the meantime, there's an upper-level trough of low pressure in here. You can see the shear. We're not too worried about that shear because the trough axis is moving steadily to the west along with our tropical depression, which is down here to the south. So if you're up in the northwestern portion of the Caribbean Sea or in the South Florida area, even the Yucatan, monitor carefully the progress of this tropical depression. Now here's the rain area over the greater Corpus Christi area. It's coming back as a warm front back up toward Freeport and maybe even into Houston later tonight. Watch out for some very strong rain action there. And it's tied to a little trough axis which still has some bands of rain down there near the Panama City area. So watch out for some localized flooding there. That's tied to the remnants of our inland tropical low pressure center there. And in the eastern Pacific, there's the band area there. In the eastern Pacific, we have a new tropical depression, 12E, and it's moving offshore, but it's forecast to become a tropical storm over the next 24 hours. Not a threat to land now. Let's get back to Kelly in the studio.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lyons. And the remnants of Tropical Storm Hanna that moved on shore yesterday, now a depression along the Georgia-Alabama border. This is the kind of rain it caused here from Marietta, Florida, up towards Georgia. We saw between 2 and 3 inches of rainfall, and we still are expecting some very heavy rains across North and South Carolina, as well as northeastern Georgia, where flood watches are in effect. We could be looking at locally 2 to 3 inches of rain for some of you here in the southeast, and also some flooding rains continue over South Texas along a frontal boundary that continues to move across this area. It's the same front moving across the Ohio Valley, meeting up with moisture, causing the rain that you have right now in the northeast. Stay with us for your local on the 8s.
This program was brought to you by Energizer. Do you have the bunny inside?
Today's high-tech devices demand the advanced power of a high-tech battery. The new and improved Energizer E squared with titanium technology. It's a longer-lasting, more powerful battery for even your most demanding high-tech devices. Energizer E squared. Do you have the bunny inside?
When your child has a high fever, you head straight for the children's Motrin. When you're hurting, don't you wish there was a mom's Motrin? There is. Motrin IB. It's got all the strength you need. Good thing. Because you need all the strength you can get. Mom's Motrin. Motrin IB. For moms who don't fool around with pain.
Someone asked me once if I had my shirt special made. I told them I got mine like everybody else at Tractor Supply. The Wrangler jeans, Carhartt coats and workwear, Walls coveralls, plus clothes for the whole family. There's just no place that fits my life better than Tractor Supply. Heck, it's even where I go to get socks.
Tractor Supply, for 1 acre or 1,000, will help you get the job done.
Whether you've got 1 acre or 1,000, Tractor Supply will help you get the job done.
When I started using Stacker, I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. 20 pounds, I probably would have been very happy with that. Instead of going to eat late at night, I'd go jog or run or exercise, do something that I normally probably wouldn't have enough energy to do. Next thing you know, 100 pounds later, then here I am. Actually introducing yourself to people that you already knew because they don't recognize you.
Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Now in Stacker 2 Light and Stacker 2 Ephedra Free.
So if you didn't like them already, you don't have to talk to them anymore because they don't recognize you.
Well, how do you like the new couch?
Nice.
Yeah.
But doesn't match the wall.
Oh, well, we can make it match.
I don't think I can see the TV from here. No, actually, I can't.
Okay, we'll put some shelves up. No problem.
Mom,
okay.
On that note, let's look at the big picture, give you a little bit of a geographic orientation here, kind of zooming in across the Caribbean. And you'll notice here's Cuba here in the middle of your television screen, Jamaica right here, Haiti, just beginning to see the cloud cover increase significantly. We've had cloudy skies today thanks to this tropical moisture. This entity, we continue to monitor this closely. The hurricane hunters have been flying in and around this system for the past couple of days. As it was crossing over the Lesser Antilles, it was showing a little more organization. It was classified as a tropical depression number 10 for a little while today, but it's been downgraded back to a wave. But nonetheless, we're still very interested because the overall environment here, very favorable for this entity, this tropical system, an area of low pressure, a wave now pushing further and further to our Caribbean area, likely to develop or possibly going to develop, especially as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. We'll watch this more closely. We'll look at the discussions. Our tropical weather experts are certainly very interested in this and noting that the rain showers have been on and off across much of Puerto Rico today. As we get into Monday and Tuesday, a lot of that rain activity associated with this entity will be pushing into Jamaica and then eventually Cuba. And could we see a system develop and maybe head up towards the Florida area? That's the question. We're going to continue to monitor this system and try to answer some of these uncertainties that are currently in place. Let's take a closer look out towards Puerto Rico, looking at the radar here. Rain showers a little heavier earlier today. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a break, but notice to the north, still seeing some thunderstorms over the coastal waters, still seeing showers redevelop over the Virgin Islands. So not the best vacationing weather. And again, this is a tropical entity, a wave. And of course, with that flow away from the Atlantic pushing into the Caribbean area, a very favorable environment for tropical development. So we'll continue to watch it. Let's take a look at some of the colder cloud tops. You'll notice that the heavier rain showers over Puerto Rico, not really the coldest cloud tops. That's more so to the north and also to the south. That was not the case earlier. And also we're looking at a little bit more sparse, more spreading of those cloud tops too at this time. Well, we are going to be watching not only this entity, but also there's an easterly wave that came off the coastal area of Africa about a day and a half ago, still holding together. And again, September 15th, the peak of the hurricane season. We're very interested in what might happen to these areas of lower pressure, these waves as they track more closely to the Caribbean. Looking out towards the Pacific, we do have a tropical depression here. It's west-southwest of Acapulco. Give you the latest information that we have on this tropical depression 12E, the sustained wind at 30 miles per hour. It's about 1,006 millibars. That's the lowest estimated pressure, and it is moving away from the coastal area of Mexico. Now back home in the inland areas, the rain continues to add up. We're talking about just for today, since 8 a.m. this morning. Well, this is yesterday's map. I'm sorry. You see that Saturday? Yesterday we were looking at that southwest corner of Georgia get hit pretty hard. A foot of rainfall for many areas from Valdosta, Georgia, getting into the Tallahassee area, probably the hardest hit vicinity. Today we're still seeing a lot of rain across the southeast, not so much in this vicinity. Got to get another map in there and show that to you, but that's still pretty interesting because all of that was associated with Hanna when it was mostly a tropical depression. Remember, it came in as a tropical storm, downgraded as a depression in the afternoon hours, and still a very big rainmaker even as we speak. A lot of that moisture has made its way further to the north. New York City, we're looking at the local radar. More rain showers are now pushing into Flushing. They're light, but they could get heavy. More details coming up at the top of the hour. Don't go away. Ryan Gossett is up next.
This program was brought to you by Energizer. Do you have the bunny inside?
Today's high-tech devices demand the advanced power of a high-tech battery. The new and improved Energizer E squared with titanium technology. It's a longer-lasting, more powerful battery for even your most demanding high-tech devices. Energizer E squared. Do you have the bunny inside?
The Revolution Massaging Shower Head from Moen. You've never felt water do this before. Create the perfect shower when you get water to spin, twist, and twirl. It will reinvent your whole day. The Revolution Massaging Shower Head from Moen. Buy it for looks, buy it for life.
You know, son, interest rates have changed.
I know, Mom. I'm a loan officer at the bank.
So I've decided to get a home equity loan.
Okay, I can help you.
Where'd you go? I'm calling Ditech.com. Mom!
Want to cash out some equity? Apply for a second mortgage with a no closing cost option. Just call 1-800-71-FIX.
I lost another loan to Ditech.
Ditech.com, your mortgage solution delivered.